Fractions and ratios. Popular part of the course. Questions will be asked on it. There are a number of ways to represent ratios or of equivalent values. For example, 3 over 6. If you cut a pizza in 6 and you get 3 slices, really you've got half the pizza. The equivalence of both representations can be shown visually. There's your 3/6 and your other 3/6 in the 2 different colours. 3/6 and 3/6 in just as a single piece, or a half and a half. The equivalence of different ratios can be determined mathematically by checking if both sides are equal. So let's look at the 3/6 and the half and say, are they equal? Well, if I take, is 3/6, is that equal to a half with a question mark? Well, if I multiply both sides by 6, I get 6 times 3 over 6 is 6 times a half. Those 6's will cancel, so I'll get 3 is equal to 6 over 2, or 6 over 2. But 6 over 2 on a calculator is going to give me 3. And is 3 equal to 3? Yes, it is. And if this is true, then this is true, then this is true, then 3/6 equals a half. And that's how we can check whether something is equivalent. An alternative method would be to say, is 3/6 equal to a half? And we use the cross multiplication method. And we say, is the top left by the bottom right, 3 times 2, equal to the bottom right by the top left? Is 6 equal to 6? Yes. If it is, then that is, then that is. Both sides have the same, 3/6 is a half. Consider the following equation now showing equivalent fractions. Say you're told that A over B is C over D. Well, from cross multiplication then, we can say that the top left by bottom right, AD, is equal to the bottom right by the top left. I've called that CB or maybe BC, whichever way I want it. Dividing both sides by C, I can get AD over C is equal to just B. Now watch this. Taking this slowly for a reason. I want you to look at this. Starting off with A over B is C over D. Reading vertically, A over B is C over D. And I find that AD is CB. AD divided by C is just B. Going to the next, AD divided by C is B. If I divide this side by D and this side by D, I'll get AD over CD is B over D. The 2 D's will cancel. And I get A over C is B over D. I want you just to hold on to that for a moment. I started with this, that if A over B is C over D, note the order of the letters. I'm reading vertically A, B, C, D. And I ended up with A, C, B, D. Or, if I were to read horizontally, I ended up with A, B, C, D. So in other words, what used to be a vertical association, A, B, C, D, turned out to be a horizontal association, A, B, C, D. A, C, B, D. This is subtle, but it's going to be extremely powerful and useful. So whenever A over B is C over D, then A over C equals B over D. Whenever the ratio A is to B as C is to D, then A is to C as B is to D. What I'm really saying there is you can flip things one to the other. Now let's see if this makes sense. 1 over 3 is 2 over 6. What I'm saying therefore is 1 is to 2 as 3 is to 6. 1 is to 3 as 2 is to 6. In other words, in this small little set here of 4 numbers, there's a relationship here this way, and there's another relationship this way in the same set. So if I write down 4 numbers in a box, 1, 2, 3, 6, and they're nicely done this way, there's a sense about the box that says it makes sense reading this way, but it also makes sense reading this way once the ratios are in place.